Hey guys, welcome back. So today, I really want to put some of my favorite philodendron onto moss poles. And then I also wanted to repot some of my Cebu blue pothos. I think I have about 3 of them, so let's get into it. I'm already gloved up. And the first plant that I want to get on a moss pole is my Philodendron El Chaco Red. This is the gorgeous new leaf that just came out. If you guys follow me on Instagram or even my channel, I've been showing you and posting pictures of this leaf as it's been unfurling, and it did not disappoint. It's gorgeous. The back of it is just as gorgeous. But today I do want to remove this sheath right here because it's really mushy, and put it on a moss pole so that the next leaf that comes out can get sized up, because I really want to get ginormous leaves on some of my philodendron. A lot of my philodendron that I do have now that I've propagated, I cannot get the leaves to size up for the life of me. This one, I haven't really had that much of an issue. It hasn't put out any leaves that are quite bigger than this one right here, but plants like my Philodendron Burl Marks Fantasy and my Philodendron Mami, those plants have been a little bit harder to size up. So that's why we're putting them on moss poles today, although I think that I really want to put my Burl Marks Fantasy, the smaller propagations, on planks instead of moss poles, and then when the roots get a little bigger, put them onto moss poles. I don't know if that makes sense or if that's pointless, but just something I want to try out. But anyways, back to this guy. This is really mushy, so I got some scissors. Where are they? Oh, right here. Oh, I have cramps. Okay. Got some scissors because I'm gonna slit it open and like kind of dissect it. I'm so excited to do this, honestly. Even though I feel like my camera's about to overheat. Oh, do I even have to do that? Let's see. Let's start pulling. I just pulled a little bit off and it came right off. Ew. I hate these sheets so much. They have too much in them. Like, what is all that? I mean, I can definitely wait, but I'm not doing that. Ew, this is so gross. It's only gross because it's mushy. Ew. I don't want to break anything that might be under here though. Imagine I do. I swear to God, I'll be so done with this fucking video. I think I took it off too soon. I definitely took it off too soon, but I feel like I've done this before in the past and it's been fine, so whatever. I have to take this out of the pot anyway to get it on a moss pole. Let me show you the setup that I want to do. This is the setup that I kind of want to put my philodendron in. I feel like it's kind of small, like there's not a lot of room in the pot for the roots, but they might grow back into the moss poles, so it should be good. If there's an issue, of course, I'll repot it. But let's get her out first. I'm also going to be repotting this in Fluval, just because she's doing so well in Fluval. Oh my gosh. Okay. That sheath looks disgusting. Let me clean it up really quick.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I cleaned up the sheath a little bit, and honestly, anytime I've ever removed a sheath, the new leaf coming out has been red, so that was definitely a little bit early because it's like green. Hopefully it's okay, but we're moving on. I have a moss pole that's already made because I took it out of a different plant. This doesn't even fit down here. Let's see if we bend it a little. Yeah, but is it gonna be okay? There's like no room in there, but I don't know. Let's just try to see what the plant is hitting for in here. Is it squished? Is it giving squished? There's like no room in there with this big ass moss pole. Let's figure this out. BRB.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, as much as I wanted this to work, there is actually like no room in the pot for the roots to grow, and I know that might cause an issue, so I got another one of these pots right here, which I'm kind of nervous for because I planted my Monstera albo in those pots in the last video, and these plants just have a totally different root system, so I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Okay, I'm gonna pot it just like I potted the elbow. Why is it like crooked though? I don't like that. I'm gonna have to put some substrate in the back of the pole as well. Definitely a little bit more room, so let's give it a shot. Ooh. Can you guys believe that all of these roots grew in Fluval? It's like a brand new freaking plant. But I'm gonna go ahead. I do see those juicy red roots coming out the front. But I'm gonna place it on the moss pole the opposite way so they can grow onto the moss. Like that. Oop. Let's drop that. That's a lot. Oops, of Fluval. But I needed some stability. I just dropped it in my lap. Okay. Let's see what it's hitting for, y'all. Ooh, I kind of like this. Oh, let me pull the camera back up. Hold on one second. Look how gorgeous. I definitely don't have to wrap it up with any plant tape yet to secure it to the moss pole. I'm gonna put this back in the greenhouse and let the roots grow a little bit longer. Hopefully this isn't too tall for the greenhouse because I do run into that problem a lot of the time. We have officially restarted my Philodendron El Choco Reds, and it's only January, so I cannot imagine what this plant's gonna look like by the end of the year. I will keep you updated. I did get some more Dynagrow in the mail, so we can water all these plants on camera when I'm done. But moving on to the next plant, I'm really excited for this one because it's another one of my favorite philodendron. This little Philodendron Mami that we propagated a few months ago. I think I propagated it in sphagnum moss and it didn't grow much, but then I switched it to Fluval and it's been taking off ever since. I want to get this onto a moss pole so we can size up these leaves. I don't know if you guys remember when I first got my Philodendron Mami, but the leaves were so big and beautiful. And I miss them so much. I really want to get those back. I just chopped up my Philodendron Mami mother plant. So I don't even know what those leaves are going to look like once it actually starts growing again. But for this one that we have a nice little top cut going on here that's well rooted, I really want to get this on a moss pole as soon as possible. Right now we have another leaf coming out. It looks like it might be a decent size. Let's check on the root system before I get this into a new pot just to see what we're working with. Oh, this is a crawling plant. I always forget, so I need to be careful. I have this rooted in two spots, like right here, oops, right here and right here. I thought something was coming out right there. Huge plane going by. I lied, it's actually a snowplow. Ooh. These roots look so good. This looks so good. I'm kind of mad I disturbed it, but I really need to get it onto a moss pole. I do really like these moss poles, but I wish I can buy them like half the size. Maybe I can cut them and zip tie them, but that sounds like a lot of work. But they're just so fat, which is good in the future when the roots are like growing in the back and they need a lot more space. But to get this into a pot and then get the plant in there, it's just a lot. So I have it in this pot against this moss pole like this, just to see if this is gonna be a good fit. And I think it might be, although the roots are a little bit against the pot on this side, I feel like it should be fine because this plant has pretty fine roots. So let's just give it a shot and see what happens. Obviously not gonna fill the moss pole all the way up. It just went everywhere. Oh my god. I think that's enough, honestly. Just gonna put a little bit of Fluval in here because I am leaving both of these plants in Fluval because they're doing so good in it. And I really don't want to mess up two of my favorite plants that I'm trying to size up, so. Oh my gosh, freaking snowplow scared me. That's also why it's so loud in here because, I mean loud. That's also why it's so dark in here because it's snowing outside right now. which it usually is every time I have to film. I'm trying to position this in a way where the roots are kind of going into the moss pole. Should I take this sheath off? No. Last time I removed a sheath, it was, oh! I was actually just filming a short, putting my Philodendron Mami on a plank, and I was removing the sheath that was on the new leaf, and the leaf came off. So I'm gonna leave sheaths alone if the leaf isn't hard enough and if the sheath isn't crunchy. Even my Philodendron El Choco Red, I should have left that alone. Like, I hope it's okay. That's what it's looking like. How freaking cute. I've been thinking about doing this for days, so I'm so happy to finally get these plants on moss poles. I got some plant tape as well. Okay, there we go. Here's my little Mami. He's not really touching the moss pole where it needs to be touching the moss pole, but I'm probably just gonna stuff a little moss behind here so that the roots are encouraged to grow into the moss pole. But this is what it looks like right now. I think the container will be fine, but for watering, I still have my CalMag, which is calcium and magnesium, I think. We have Super Thrive. I need to refill this one. And I have Dynagrow. I told you guys I had just re-upped on my Dynagrow. And I was wondering why it cost almost $24 on Amazon. And it's because I bought this huge one on accident. So I'm probably not gonna need fertilizer for a long time unless I wanna switch it up. I mix all of those together into a gallon and then I put it into this little squeeze bottle. And that's how I water a majority of my plants. Just like that. And then I really use them to get into the moss pole though, because you can really, and I have a lot of hydrophobic moss poles that I really need to get into sometimes, so these really come in handy. I just pick them up from the Dollar Tree and then they sometimes get a little bit moldy or algae start to build up at the bottom and I just toss them and get new ones. Fluval does dry out a lot faster. I think one of you guys told me that when I first tried Fluval. It does dry out a lot faster, so if I don't keep an eye on some plants, they're gone the next day. Is that new leaf gonna be all right where I rip the sheath off? Because I'm kind of stressing low-key. Let's water this one too. Hopefully not too much algae is gonna form on these. I'm just gonna squirt a little bit into the moss pole. Because the moss is all the way down into the bottom of the moss pole, into the pot, a lot of the water is gonna be absorbed through the moss pole. So I'm really gonna have to keep an eye on this one, but I don't really want my El Choco Red sitting in water anyway, so I kind of did that purposefully. Same with the Philodendron Mami. I feel like they're really root rot prone, so maybe keeping them in a drier substrate is really gonna help me in the long run. Hopefully they fit in the greenhouse. We're gloving back up because we're about to repot my Cebu Blue Pothos that I had showed you guys in a previous video. I'm taking them out of self-watering pots because I don't think they're doing well in the current setup. Well, I already took them out of the clear cover pots, but the inserts kind of just been hanging out in whatever pots I had laying around, so I'm gonna get those taken out of those pots and repotted. But I don't know if I want to combine. I have 3 of them, and I really don't know if I want to combine 2 of them and then repot one of them by itself, or combined all 3 of them. It's gonna be the setup for the 2 Cebu Blue Pothos that I'm combining. A self-watering pot, little insert. These don't really line up too well, and I'm gonna end up taking them out, but they have bigger holes on the side, so I kind of like these pots better. I should have put my Monstera Albo in these, but I forgot I had these until today. Let's fill it up with a little bit of leca first. I have a bunch of clean leca here. Doesn't smell that clean. I have so much substrate that I have to clean, and I just wish I can go back to the olden days where I didn't care and I just threw it away. But honestly, the substrate has gotten too expensive to be doing that, so now I have to spend hours cleaning my leca and my pond, which I guess is a good thing. But this is how much leca slash a little bit of pon I put down there. What I'm a little bit nervous for though is because these holes are a little bit big, the pon is probably gonna fall right out. I'm gonna pot this one in there along with this one right here that's yellowing a little bit. Hopefully that stops once I repot them. But the other one is kind of crawling a little bit. Well, it has like one vine that's hanging, so I'll repot that on its own. This is the root system. Ew. Okay, let's dump this really quick. I'm scared. Looks like I got it out safely. And it's in a little mold, which I love. That's so funny. And so strange. Looks like a little jellyfish. I'm kind of just gonna plop it in here though. Like kind of wrap the roots around a little bit. Ooh. And just plop it into the side so I can fit the other one. Ew, 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 ew. So juicy. I'm just gonna dump it. Hold on, I think we got something tangled down here. What is stuck? Oh. You know what I forgot to take out of the other one? The wick. Oh my god, this wick is really stuck because the roots have grown through it. Oh my god, it's really, really stuck. There we go. Same thing as the other one, a nice cute little mold. But we have a lot of little growth points that are trying to come up at the bottom. That's really why I wanted to move it, because the growth was hindered. Okay, let's see really quick. Oh yeah, I forgot to take this one out right here. Oops. Raining pon. Oh my god. And we got it. Just gonna put it back in there. Take this one. Okay. Kind of loosen it up just a little bit. I don't want to lose too much control. But look how nice this looks already. It's really, really full, as opposed to my other Cebu blue that literally just has like 6 vines growing on one side of the pot. This is going to be really, really beautiful. But I am going to try my best not to bury those little growth points. I think the substrate is good as far as covering all of the roots and making sure all the growth points aren't suffocated. So I'm really excited to see this one grow in. Just gonna give it a little bit of water for now because I'm kind of running out. One last little look before this plant takes off. Super excited. And then lastly, this is the one that has a little bit of hang time on it. So I wanted to pot it by itself since it's already started to trail. And I'm just gonna pot it into this jar right here. Oh. Okay, that was a lot of root. I could have untangled those better. That's a lot of root loss. But that's what we're working with still. Let's take this out. Oh my god, this is stuck. Okay, this is what we're working with. I think these are the propagations where I trim the roots, oops, before I put them in. That could also be why they weren't doing that good. But who knows? Just gonna spread it out a little bit before I backfill. What am I backfilling with? It literally already looks better. And I keep having to propagate my mother plant because it keeps touching the floor. So I have a lot of Cebu blue pothos right now, but they're really gorgeous, so I kind of don't mind. Maybe I'll put some in the shop in the future. So make sure you're following me on Etsy at Palace of Propagations, on Instagram at Mother of Plants. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until my next video, bye guys.